Samagama, a 6 days lecture series. Today, we have gathered here for our first webinar session. We have among us Dr. M. Bhaskar Rao sir. Namaste sir.
Namaste and namaste to all.
He who understood the composition of the body and who has been well versed in the Shastra has a rightful claim to practice the art of healing. With these words of Acharya Sushruta, we shall start Shalya Samagama, a 6 days lecture series. I would like to request our beloved teacher, Dr. Shilpa PN ma'am, for the welcome address.
Thank you, Nagashri. Good evening, all.
Good evening, ma'am.
I welcome. Actually, this is a kid of our principal, ma'am, because ma'am dream was to make a web series. So yesterday it was ma'am who initiated me and Srinivas to do so, and we are so fortunate that it has happened in a single day. So I welcome all of you for this web series of Shalya Samagama. This is the first lecture of the series. I welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Bhaskar Rao sir, to this session. I welcome Dr. Bunny Gold sir, who's a unexpected guest. We was not knowing it. We are very happy to you sir being here. And for all these things, I have to thank our principal, ma'am. She is the force behind organizing all these things. Welcome, ma'am. And I welcome my colleague, Dr. Srinivas, and other faculties of our department, PGs, and who are all present in this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to request our beloved principal, ma'am, Dr. Ahalya Sharma, ma'am, to address us.
A very good evening to one and all. Namaste and pranams. It is indeed a great moment for us here in the Department of Shalya Tantra to be hosting this webinar series. Not just hosting, but we also are very fortunate to have this inaugurated by a great Shalya Tantragnya, an alumni of JAMC, and my very dear senior, Dr. Bhaskar Rao sir. I also take this opportunity to welcome and thank our Dean, Faculty of Ayurveda, RGUHS, our senior and mentor, Dr. Srinivas Banigod, whose presence has added a lot of weightage to this very webinar. Thank you so much for being here with us, sir. It's a great blessing to our students. I would look at it that way. My dear faculty, Shilpa, Srinivas, and Vasudha, you have made all this happen in less than 24 hours time, and that shows the power of each individual. If we determine, we can do it. My dear students and all, Bhaskar Rao sir, it's honestly a very, very good experience for all of us to listen to you. The last time you were with us was about 3-4 years ago, and I pray that we have you in form in JMC to address our students as early as possible. With these words, sir, I shall again come back at the end. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Introducing sir, I would like to say a few words.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Dr. Matha Bhaskar Rao sir is a professor at Sri Venkateshwara Ayurvedic College, Tirupati. He has had a brilliant academic career with the university rank 1 and also a recipient of gold medal. He was the awardee of Young Scientist by the World Congress of Natural Medicine from Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati, for his surgical skills and extensive service of Kshara Sutra application in high anal fistulae. I am proud to say Sir has his postgraduate degree from our college, that is GMC Bengaluru, in Shalya Tantra. Sir has been a resource person in various national and international seminars. He was also awarded Young Investigators Award by the Japan Society of Hepatology, Nagasaki, Japan, in September 2006. He holds PhD on the topic Leech Therapy in the Management of Burgess, which we will be listening on the last day of this 6-day lecture series. Sir, we are very grateful for having you today. Over to you, sir, on the topic Clinico-Radiological Overview of Agni Karma, a scientific review. Sir, please, sir.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Sir, Bhaskar Rao sir, sorry to interrupt. Hello?
Yes. Yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. We have Dean Ayurveda Faculty of RGHS, Dr. Banigol sir, with us today. So before you start with your lecture series, I want sir to speak few words on the occasion, sir.
Yeah. Well,
Banigol sir, please.
sir is my respectable senior and
Exactly.
my privilege to hear.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Banigol sir. Yes, sir.
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
It is my
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Bhaskar sir. Good evening. After a long
Sir,
time, you have
namaste.
been.
Namaskara, sir. Yes, sir.
Namaste,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Namaskara, sir. Namaskara.
Namaste. Good evening, everybody. We have been here listening to Dr. Bhaskar Rao on a very important subject, that is Agni Karma. Now, this is the time that the various types of modalities of Agni Karma has to be validated and documented. We have done a lot of work on Chara Karma. Hence, Dr. Bhaskar Rao has done a lot of work. I hope that his deliberation on this particular subject will enrich our knowledge, and this lecture will help us to clinically practice Agni Karma. And as Sushruta has mentioned that procedure-wise Agni Karma is very easy to perform, and when once the Agni Karma is done, the disease does not reoccur. So for our Shalya practitioners, it is of most important that these procedures are to be carried out in the regular practice, so that the horizon of the Shalya practitioners will increase, and this procedure, if we validate and standardize, it is a great contribution. And in this regard, I congratulate Dr. Bhaskar Rao for coming up with this particular subject, and he certainly will enrich us, all of us. With these few words, I congratulate the principal and the staff of Government Ayurveda College, Bangalore, for organizing this particular seminar. Thank you, one and all. I hope everybody will get benefited by this webinar on various subjects of Shalya Tantra. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Bhaskar Rao sir to continue with this lecture, sir. Sir, please continue, sir.
Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you, Srinivas. Are you able to see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, I am privileged to participate in fourth Shalya Karma session. I am really privileged. I received a call 2 days back from Dr. Shilpa, who was in fact my junior and very active colleague. And then I said, when a call comes from Karnataka, and that too from a mother institution, I never deny. Immediately I accepted Shilpa, and I immediately conveyed my namaskars to Dr. Ahalyaji for taking all the initiation. And well, coming to the topic, I am very much grateful. And with the 4 words of Dr. Bannigalji and my senior colleagues, friends, Srinivasji, Sridharji, and postgraduate colleagues, and also some of my students who are here on this, I am pleased to speak. And going for my topic, Agni Karma, a scientific overview, clinico-radiological study. My dear friends, Susur Samhita is an authentic science of surgery. Still, the clinical entity is viable because of its practical session. I never consider, because Susruta naturally becomes the author of this great endeavor, And since more than 3,000 years, the practices are in practice. And no, because Susur Samhita, what I feel, it cannot be a science. It cannot be a treatise. It cannot be a simple monument. It is an encyclopedia, living encyclopedia. The diagnostic soundness, the logic of decision making, practical compendium, whatever is described in the science is practicable. The fundamental philosophical conceptual renaissance is based absolutely on the clinical Samhita. Because of this reason, Ayurveda survives today. Into the karma topic, a beautiful topic. So he has divided the treatment platform on four criteria: medical management, Kshara karma, alkaline cauterization, Agni karma, therapeutic cauterization, and Shastra karma. And these procedures like karma, Agni karma, and other work with the parasurgical procedures. But parasurgical procedures are the accessory surgical procedures, never inferior to any surgical procedures. In fact, he has given such an importance for surgical procedures because whenever surgery is at failure, parasurgical procedures will show its face. And Agni karma is such an authentic science. Today we are able to discuss on it. Well, the principal source of this healing is the sun. Well, what you ought to know is WHO says 70% of the people are sub-health. Only 10% are healthy. Remaining 20% are sick. 70%, you see classification by the WHO, people say we are healthy out of 100, only 10%. Really sick are 20%. 70% are otherwise they are sub-health because of physical, mental, social, and spiritual. There is lacuna must be there, and that's where we have to be really show the light. Agni karma, I told you, it's a parasurgical procedure where actual heat is transmitted into the tissues to nullify pathology. Yes. How Agni karma becomes the superiority of the treatment? Because there is a Hippocratic aphorism. You see this quotation: what the drug will not cure, the knife will cure. What the will not cure, the cautery will cure. What the cautery will not cure must be considered incurable. This is a aphorism from the Hippocratic text. Sarva shastranu shastranam kshara kshārādapi agnisreshta agni na punarudbhavati. A beautiful quote from the Susur Samhita. Among all the procedures, Sarva shastranu shastranam kshara. Kshara is the best. And after, and Agni karma is the best. If the diseases are not treatable with the Agni karma, just consider them incurable. Well, coming to the Agni karma topic, it is indicated actually when all the other measures fail you and the disease are recurring even after surgery, and unhealed ulcerations are some of the indications. Well, karma introduction, because I have to cover keeping the PG students and some of the junior colleagues in the mind. A brief introduction about Agni karma. It is 4 types: Tvag Dagda, Mamsa Dagda, Sira Dagda, Snayu Dagda, and Asti Sandhi Dagda. So these are the types of Agni karma to be executed. If it is on skin and if it is samyak, there must be audible tap-like sound with a foul smell. If it is on Mamsa Samyak Dagda, there must be discoloration with local edema. And if it is on Sira Dagda, there must be constriction of the sira with local induration. And Snayu Dagda, reveals snayu constriction and ulceration. And when it is asti and sandhis, dryness, redness, immovable ulceration we come across. And the instruments, it's very, everybody considers only the shalaka are the best instruments, but there are specific set of instruments. For Twagdagda, it was considered Pippali Shalaka, and even excrete of a goat and tooth of a cow was considered for Twagdagda. Mamsadagda, Jambavashta Shalaka is the best, and Sira Snasandagda, honey, hot ghee or hot oils, we can, because they can easily penetrate deeper into the tissues and execute their work. Well, these are the shapes are to be executed. When it is bindu, it is like a dot-like Agnikarma, dot-like shape. So this dot cauterization has to be done, and on the wards, it is Aya, and a ring-like cauterization has to be put. It's a Kamala. It is a regular practice in a part of Rayalaseema, Andhra Pradesh. After the new born babies, we perform this procedure. Vileka is a linear cauterization. This is exceptionally done in Telangana areas to revitalize the immunity system. Pratisa is irregular cauterization, especially on the lipoma and tumor growth, and exceptional procedures like swastika on for apasmara cases, ashtapada, multiple wards, sandhigata ardhachandrakara, and a special advocacy by Susruta in the management of inguinal hernia. I will be coming for the topic 2 now. And as you know, there are of Agnikarma are Prushta, Durdagda, Dagda. Amongst the Samyak Dagda in the Agnikarma only we have to Dagda only. You are well aware about it. So for any procedure in surgery, you have to divide the total procedure into 3 phases. First phase, pre-operative phase, operative phase, post-operative phase. In the pre-operative, prepare the instruments, keep them ready, and every it is required for the operator here to keep, including the patient's witness, patient's evaluation, patient's consent. Everything has to be taken in the set of the operative procedure. In the operative procedure, exactly of taking the where it is indicated, the indication fact. So proper execution has to be manipulated in the operative procedure. Post-operative care, you know pretty well. Once you complete the procedure, it has to be anointed, and you have to minimize the burning sensation or the pain, whatever you inflict to the patient. That is very important. About cauterization, it was there very much, not only from the Susrutas, even from Brohotrais, Lagutrais, even from the medieval period, even the Western criteria, cauterization is very much described, especially in the European cult we come across, and that is it. Still, they are practicing in the animal welfare societies. They are still able to practice. It was there for, and they are also practicing with or without anesthesia. So these are the historical perspectives from the European arena. Well, the synonyms of Agnikarma, when we refer, the Arab people will say this is as a Ma or K, and the Chinese people consider the same procedure in other ways, Moksha, and Indians consider it to be Dahana Karma or Agni Karma. Greek people say this is a procedure of Missa. Well, I told you Chinese people, they regularly, in various indications, the Moksha Bashan, they take the fine powder of chrysanthemum family plant, they make it into powder, fill into a cigar thing, they will heat it, and they will put it on the required lesion. You can see the photographs. It is just like Agnikarma procedure. but they maintain certain distance to the lesion where you exactly apply. These are the 6 most Muslims and other pharmacists in the medieval time. So they too consider this procedure. It's only for information's sake. And always it is a debatable question, which metal is the best? Is it iron? Is it copper? Is it Panchaloha, Saptalho Shalaka? Is it the best method is silver, or the gold is the best method? Which is the best? And usually, and everybody considered a cautery is best made of gold. It was also there, and even we also consider the gold is the best method. Is it really? Can we support this for this? And the Persian view of cauterization is cauterization is very useful method of treatment. It prevents the spread of destructive lesion. It's a fact. Has an invigorating effect on a member whose cold temperament we wish to rectify. It breaks up putrefaciatory matters imprisoned in you. It restrains the flow of blood, and it enhances the circulation. It rather invigorates the cold temperament and brings the putrefaciatory matter which is hidden in the pathology. Well, the exact indications till on today, I suggest to the contemporary Shalya practitioners, you can safely practice Agni Karma procedure for ankylosing spondylitis, back pain, bursitis, carpal tunnel syndrome, even for constipation, Dupuytren contracture, even piles, one of the best indication, shoulder problems like periarthritis shoulder, weakness of the shoulder, sinus problems, and osteoarthritis, plantar fasciitis, hip pains, even for rheumatoid arthritis. Sciatica is the best indication. Tendinitis, tennis elbow are some of the indications where safely. Well, when you see a little information from the thermodynamics, heat is a sort of energy from one body to other body. Technically to speak, it is, we consider heat to be the energy. Energy naturally transfers by heat between two objects classified. So from one source, from maximum source to minimum source, this energy source will be transferred. This is a simple philosophy, thermodynamics involved in this. Well, coming to the topic, whether copper is a ideal metal, silver is ideal metal, gold is ideal, and metal is ideal. To look at it, I want to discuss about some of the important atomic numbers of the copper. When you look at the copper, the atomic number is 29. The present of electrons in the copper atomic structure are 29. Just keep this information with you. When you look at the atomic structure, atomic number is 79. The number of electrons are 9. Nageshwari, are you able to hear me, Amma? Am I audible?
Sir. Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Thank you, Ma. And when you look at the atomic structure of the silver, it is the atomic number is 47. The electrons are present are 47. See this. This is a pictorial view. When you see the gold, there are 79 electrons. When you look at the silver, there are 47 electrons. When you look at the copper, there are 29 electrons. And when you look at iron, this comparative chart, very important for you, the young practitioners. See, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orbits in the gold. And the other orbit, there is a one. You look at the silver, there are 3 orbits and 1 electron in the silver too. When you look at the copper, there are 3 orbits, 1 outer electron. When you look at iron, there are 4 orbits, there are 2 electrons in the iron. What I would like to mention is, in the configuration of the electronic structure, if there are more number of orbits and the outer orbit contains one electron, it can easily give that electron to the other atomic structure. If you look at the silver too, it has number of orbits are less, outer electron is 1. If you vice versa, if you look at the iron, the number is less, outer electrons are 2, and rather it takes the electrons in, rather it gives. So this is very important. So that way gold can easily transmit the transfer of electrons into the tissues, followed by silver, followed by the copper, followed by the iron, because iron, less orbits, outer electrons, naturally rather giving electrons. Probably this simple information proves gold is the method. And transfer of electrons into the various tissues, muscle tissue, nerve tissues, tendon tissue, bone tissue, blood tissue, and this will be different. The quantum of electron jump into the various tissues could be definitely different. This is how the jump of kinetic from metal differs from each tissue, skin, tendon, muscle, fascia, bone, and the structures. Transfer of electrons could be definitely different one. So this is information I wanted to give. Various of energy transfers. This is what we expect. The kinetic energy can easily transfer into the thermal energy into the random molecular motions. Well, the important aspect of human body after the like gold, silver, iron, and which possess the various electrons. Now, after all, what is our body? The human body is a manifestation of human being, a collection of chemical electrons, mobile electrons, electromagnetic fields which are present in the cellular and intracellular components, organized hierarchically, cell tissues and organ systems. The human body, after all, is an integrated, highly dynamic system, maintaining its form and functions even as individual cells are routinely dismantled and replaced with newly constructed ones. When you refer back, you will get a lot of information when you look at electrolytes and fluid balance. There are intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Intracellular, extracellular fluid again divided, and the intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid is managed by sodium and potassium. These are charged ions. They control the total osmolarity of the tissues. This transfer of the electrons to the tissue is so a same philosophy which is already in the body. These are the tissues, nerve, muscle, epithelial, connective, and major systems like cardiovascular, digestive, endocrine, immune, integumentary, and respiratory, reproductive, and other systems. And also, when we the Chinese system, there is a negative, positive, yan procedures, almost comparable. And nervous system is also a supercomputer which transmits the electrons or the Agni Karma into the system. And when you look at the Agni Karma, a deep penetrating heat, I'll show you some of the important photographs, how the transfer of heat into the tissues, the changes, some of the important photographs. What I would like to show you is microscope of research on various systems. This is one of the study. Well, these are a special photograph was taken before the heat here. After 30 minutes, you can see the extension of the Agni Karma. You can see after the 30 minutes, and after some time, 1.5 hours, you can see the far extension onto the back of the body. So even it has some special transmission to the tissues. You can see the fast spreading into the tissues. This is a special photography, special camera. The photos have been taken. Well, the mechanism, I tell you, I'll come for that. There are two theories of mechanisms are involved here. One is first theory, second theory. Two intense inflammations in the same system at the same time could lessen or chronic inflammation. Two intense inflammation, there is inflammation, you are inducing another inflammation. The fight between the two inflammations could definitely have a lessen already existing inflammation. Second theory is important theory, makes a permanent bandage, a scarring or a fibrosis on the lesion which protects further. Well, the transmission of heat in the tissues naturally considered through Ayurveda, it causes Dhatu Utkleshana and improves Dhatu Agni. Naturally improved Dhatu Agni causes Amapachana, making doshas nirama. And once it's attaining nirama of Vata and Kapha, and could be easily brought back to normalcy of the dosha, dusya, samurchana, vigatana will take place. This is possible with Agni Karma. And another important thing is, the bones will inherently present the piezoelectricity. Once you introduce the Agni Karma, the piezoelectricity which is already existing in the bone tissue could further pacify the existing pathology or the degenerations with the help of piezoelectricity which is there. Piezoelectricity is a process of a group of amalgamation of electrons in the other form, condensed form. So we are also, through the Agni Karma, we are transferring, disturbing or stimulating, invigorating the piezoelectricity to prevent the further spreading of pathology. Well, there is another mechanism. People may question us, where exactly it works. So you can say it can work locally, it works systemically. Locally, when you breaks the cap is the reason when you apply, especially the periarthritis shoulder. When you apply in the other frozen conditions, frozen ankle, frozen knee joints, and frozen shoulders, when you apply, immediately you can find the instant relief. Really, the shoulder, I mean, wherever it is frozen, it is fixed there. No, once the moment you execute the Agni Karma, there is a lysis, breakage of encapsulations, and thus relieves the pain. And when it goes to the systemically, there is a little hypothesis we apply on this. Yes, it has the impact on lymphatic system. It can have impact on the neurohormonal system. It has some effect on the circulatory system too. When you say lymphatic system, very important thing, my dear friends, my dear Shalya postgraduates, you can confidently tell them, the people, that lymphatic circulation can increase to the extent of 6 times and releases an enzyme which is called a diamine oxide, 30 times rich in histaminase concentration. This actually breaks down histaminase, which is responsible for all sorts of joint inflammatory systems. Wonderful hypothesis, wonderful information. Hello? Nageshwari, are you able to hear?
Kindly repeat
Pardon?
the last 2 sentences, sir. It increases the lymphatic circulation 6 times.
Yes, it increases the lymphatic circulation by 6 times. Releases an enzyme which is 30 times rich in histaminase concentration, known as diamine oxide. And you know, histaminase is responsible for all sorts of degeneration and inflammatory system. And an enzyme called diamine oxidase is 30 times rich. So it can easily nullify the existing pathology. This is the actually science. This is the information behind the Agni Karma is effective. When you take with the philosophy hormone, lymph, it can stimulate the, lymphatic circulation, once it is enhanced, the lymph contains it and naturally releases the serotonin and melatonin. They are capable to reduce the local edema. Wonderful thing. And another thing is, has on the circulatory system. As you know, extravascular fluid is the blood, and extravascular, within the vascular, the flow of blood, which contains the various cells and the plasma, and naturally they contain albumin, glucose, fats, acids, lymphocytes, and other things. Transformed into the fluidy tissue, they can enhance the antibody antigen phenomena, and local energy levels are activated. So thus brings back the joint inflammation to normalcy. So it affects via the circulation. It affects via the central nervous system. It is directly through the system. This is the greatness of the Agni Karma. So one of my published paper in the 2020 years back, this information was published. This is opinion about firing. My dear friends, colleagues, this is especially my post students, undergraduate students who are at. Very important thing is, yes, brings back the body defenses. And the moment connects the blood, that application of this agent increases the vascular permeability, and there is a temporary acceleration of the blood flow, and accumulated catabolic products will be disturbed, and tissue acidosis and changes in colloid crystalloid structure are responsible for the inflammatory process, and increases the capillary permeations, and transfer or migration of leukocytes, which are responsible in the antibody philosophy, and increased capillary bed, and increases the hemo concentration. What not? It does everything. And important thing, please keep these factors in the mind. The release of noxious humors, the development of hyperemia, deep versus superficial. So they directly work on the bones and the muscle tissue. It acts like a bandage. So strengthens and thickens the area so that further damage can be avoided. The production of anti-collagen antibodies, damaged collagen, which has been denatured in a burn wound, stimulates the production of anti-collagen antibodies and anti-collagen lymphocytes, responsible for the cartilaginous inflammation. These are some of the further studies I suggest to the younger. You make up a histopathological study after the Agni Karmas. You can see how the electronic, with the help of electronic microscopic assay can make. And you can also take up a project for especially for PhD work as a collagen assessment and immunofluorescence studies. Chromatography you can do it, and do for the protein phase, and directly you can determine the collagen synthesis, the post-healing status of Agni Karma. And you can also study the post-electrolytic changes, cortisol changes, glucagon changes, free fatty acid changes. So this is, you can see a very important aspect, just I would like to, we'll discuss finally, could be the Shat Chakras, the Agni Karma, role of Agni Karma, and various wavelengths, and the role of Agni Karma. Well, I want to show some of the photographs. So these are the ancient Agni Karma instruments. A picture I could able to collect from the internet, were used 2000 years back. A crude, and these are somewhat developed modern Agni Karma instruments in the 19th century. And this is actual fire people used to heat the shalakas. In the shalakas. So keeping where exactly it is required, whether it is a back It is a neck frozen, neck periarthritis shoulder, or and dorsal pain or low backache condition. This is very important. A picture of 11th photograph. They used to exactly do on the little finger, base of the thumb. 11th century photograph, please. Mind this. This is also a 11th century photograph on the Agni Karma sides for sciatica. Wonderful thing. No, this is a inspiration photograph. So it is in the hip joint. It is just below the beneath, below the knee joint, posterior aspect, and the tip of the little finger, and at the ankle joint. This exactly shows the way of the sciatica. Some of the ancient Agni Karma Shalakas, 11th century photographs. These are some of the Agni Karma instruments, traditional, on partial disc prolapse. Initially, we were using such a probes 25 years back. Agni on sciatica patients, on periarthritis shoulder. Some of the photographs have made a study on various cases of first grade, second grade, third grade of OA cases of knee joint. 99 photograph. Before and after. You can see there is a medial compartmental space is diminished. There are degenerative lesions. You can make it out in the knee joint. Some of the before treatment photographs. About 58 years. You can see the medial compartmental changes. So like the photographs of 99. You can see there is a patellofemoral degenerative changes are marked. Calcaneal spur, obvious calcaneal spur, those in 2 photographs, and safely you can execute. Confidently you can avert the further progress of calcaneal spur. You can also see the talocalcaneal junction degeneration. Before treatment, after treatment, there is a bone density improved. Before treatment, after treatment, the size of the nails reduced spur. You can see, we have noted, it was published. Some of the MRI works to show on the disc prolapse, CT scan. Initial works in the 2011, in fact. Now for your information, we never do any Jalapeño jelly also. Aloe vera, rub for few minutes on the very exact to do karma, and the thing aloe vera has proved to the local anesthetic effect on the lesion. Patient will bear no problem at all. Safely you can practice. This is, I don't know how many people you identify. It looks like a infected car. Knee joint case, we have done the Agni Karma. It was bursitis with OA. Some of the photographs I wanted to share. You can see the total destruction of the medial compartment, patellofemoral fusion, calcaneal spur, patient, lady patient, a corn patient, safely, confidently, without excision. Just do it, single attempt or second attempt if at all required. It does the lysis of the car. This is, friends, if you see, there is a proximal end of the tibia. You can see there is a massive lesion. This is giant cell tumor. We have done a interesting case which was on chemotherapy and post radiotherapy, which was bounced back to the hospital, and we have done it. You can see this is giant cell tumor. This is one of the photograph in the Antravruddhi. I come for the discussion for this. this is one of the case of, as I told you, this is the same picture, if I'm right, giant cell tumor of the TB. It's gradually extending. And once when we have done this, is I think 3 or 4 times executed the gamma, what we could to see is we could further destruction we could able to stop in this patient, and pain has minimized. The same photographs of various CT, MRI. Yes, this condition, my dear friends, young friends, even you cannot post this multiple lesions for the surgery also. It's very dangerous. So where Agni Karma can be safely practiced. Or, as I told you, is the safe indication. Filariasis case, massive filariasis. And you can also practice and get good results. And one interesting thing is when you do in such a case, it is because it's a lymphatic obstruction. So he says you find there is a continuous oozing of lymph for a few days. So with artificially induced lymphoria, and that reduces the swelling too. This is a very interesting case. I told you, epidermolysis. You know, in epidermolysis a condition. This is a genetic disorder, a crack of the lesion in the foot, which does burning and pain continuously, never heals up. Usually, this patient will usually go to a dermatologist with no response, and then go to a surgeon, go to a physician. I know even excision would bounce back. Epidermolysis condition. This is case safely just with karma we could able to prevent further recurrences, bounced back from the dermatologists and surgeons after surgery. So some of the documentary evidences I want to show you. Well, in the Sandhivata cases, markings, the Bindu Pada is not a black things. On OA, 4 to 6 bindus are sufficient. If indication, confidently you can stop first. And in a due course of long due course, you can see the condension of calcaneal spur. You can observe.
So sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yes, nice. Are you able to? Am I audible?
It's audible, sir. The volume is okay, but there has been very much disruptions in the between, sir.
Okay, voice problem or a PPT?
No, sir. PPT is good, sir.
Oh, fine. Just follow it. Voice, are you now? It is okay.
Yes, sir. It is very much okay, sir.
Fine. Okay, well, I'll slow down. No.
Okay, sir.
And these are bindus of Agni Karma in Rudrasi case. The Agni Karma here in Rudrasi. Well, this is Agni Karma in the Antravruddhi. This is very important aspect to it. We have taken up 15 years back a study on the Antravruddhi, perhaps for the first time in India. Execution Agni Karma in the inguinal hernia, perhaps in the initial stages of bubonosyl and type of reducible type, because it is not indicated the complete hernias. Hernia is 2 types, incomplete and complete. Incomplete is bubonosyl and funicular. Bubonosyl is like a bulb, like glandular structure. Funicular is a tubular structure. You just push back the contents into the inguinal canal. I know the inguinal canal is a 3.75 centimeters in internal ring and external ring mediolaterally placed, and the internal ring is from the anterior superior iliac spine to the pubic tuber. The internal ring you will find. The internal ring is a posterior part of the inguinal canal. It is a semilunar condensation in the transverse fascia, my dear friends. Susruta told to execute the Agni Karma, Vankshanayor Sandhi Madhyabhage Agni Karmani Kurvanti. Exactly the Vankshanayor Sandhi Madhyabhage. The Chandrakaravat, he mentioned very clearly in Antravruddhi. Exactly mid-inguinal point, the internal ring will come. This lunar condensation in the transverse fascia. If you do the karma in the semilunar shape, semilunar condensation of the posterior wall of the inguinal canal will be obliterated, fibrosed, and this prevents the initial cases of herniation, even bubonosyl and fistulars, for at least for few years. I feel proud to execute this procedure on some patients in the Institute of TTD's Ayurveda Department of Shalya Tantra. I feel proud. You can see the semilunar shape. And if it is the right-sided hernia, there is also mentioning the left-sided in the thumb, you have to give a nick and do the Agni Karma. Probably the reflex mechanism which would work on that. You have to answer the young people for this. And there are Agni Karma wards, Mons Pubis. This was the bounce back, done surgery twice or thrice by the different surgeons. There are recurrences on the Mons, and we have taken up this case. We have done it full Bindupada Agni Karma, and they have totally fallen. Agni Karma photographs. So they are almost disappearing, and hoping for the non-controversial arena of Agni Karma and young people. And really, you have a lot of scope in the practice of Shalya Tantra, and Agni Karma could definitely prove a Brahmastra in your hands, and we can safely, confidently, but you should be very careful, judiciously you should execute. Thank you. Hopefully I could complete within the given time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Over to Nageshwari. Okay, ma?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I heartfeltly thank you for giving a detailed explanation about the mechanism, mode of action of Agni Karma, sir. Now,
Yes,
I would like to request Dr. Shilpa ma'am to render the vote of thanks.
Yes.
Nagashri, if at all anybody is having any doubts, let them ask. No, so the session is open for discussion.
Yes, sir. This
Yeah,
session is
welcome.
open for discussion now.
Any compliments, contradictions, and anything is welcome.
Sir, could you please elaborate on the gate control theory for pain for our students?
The theory is a hypothesis, whether you imply the gate control theory, whether you imply the neuromuscular phenomena, or whether you imply the lymphatic theory, it is only hypothesis. Judiciously you have to apply how exactly it nullifies. The theories are various theories. There are no, I'd like to mention was not on the gate theory. Gate theory mentioned only time management for various aspects. You can focus on the neurohormonal phenomena, local effects of Agni Karma, and especially on the lymphatic drainage. You can focus safely to show the scientific validity of the Agni Karma rather than gate control theory and other things.
Because often when our students write the mode of action, gate control theory scores the first place. So generally they say this is how it is. The mode of action starts with the gate control theory. That's why I asked you.
No, naturally. It has impact, definitely. It has gate control theory has a safe rate. Yes.
Sir, there are some undergraduate students who wants to know,
Yes.
In your words, how can you explain us regarding the exact position of Agni Karma in case of hernia, inguinal hernia, sir?
Fine, fine. This is that's what I was telling. If time permits, so this is very important for you, the young practitioners. You have to diagnose the hernia first. You have to make sure of inguinal hernia, and in that inguinal hernia should be indirect type. In that indirect type, it should be incomplete type, whether let it be bibonocele or funicular, and then only you can safely execute the application of Agni Karma. Then you can get the appropriate results. See, if it is a case of indirect incomplete hernia, of course bibonocele or funicular type, reduce the contents back, identify the mid-inguinal zone. This is a little bit anatomy is required. Mid-inguinal zone, you have to identify the anterior superior iliac spine, the pubic tubercle, exactly the junction point on the inguinal ligament, 1.25 centimeters or half inch above to the inguinal ligament, mid-inguinal ligament. When you identify the mid-inguinal point, you can feel with the thumb. Yes, on practice, definitely you can feel this. When you feel this inguinal internal ring, if you refer back to the anatomy, it is a crystal clear in the anatomical text, because it's the posterior aspect of the inguinal canal. It is a semilunar condensation. Probably the greatness of Susruta, who said Susruta is not aware of the anatomy. 3000 years back, he was able to do the craniotomy, laparotomy, what not, everything he has given a clear identity. It is in the shape of Ardhachandra Karavat Agni Karmani Kuruvanti Vankshanayor Sandhi Madhyabhage. How beautiful the Susruta. It enhances the really our respects towards the Susruta Samhita. That is the reason Susruta Samhita has become an encyclopedia in the surgery. My dear friends, young practitioners, say this is Ardhachandra Karavat, is a semilunar condensation. When you do Agni Karma in one sitting or in making 4 or 5 bindus on this lesion, it does fibrosis at the entry point of the semilunar condensation, and within few days it attains the total fibrosis and prevents further entry of the abdominal contents, let it be enterocele, let it be omentocele, whatever it may be. It prevents due to the mechanical fibrosis or mechanical sclerosis of that lesion. So for a few years, patient will be safe.
Thank you, sir. Shall we move on to the next question, sir?
Yes.
There is another question. How does Agni Karma works in filariasis? Is there any reversible condition in its pathology?
Yeah, ma, this is also very important, very complex question you posed to me. Because you know filariasis is a condition. No, when you see the pathophysiology, there is a stagnation of lymphatic channels, lymphadenitis, lymphadenoadenitis, lymphangiadenoectasis is the philosophy, pathological philosophy involved in this. The lymph channels will be obliterated, posing to the enlargement, engorgement, causing edema. So this is what generally it happens. When you do Agni Karma, which breaks up probably the pathophysiology of this and the accumulation of the lymph flow, which is already there extravascularly. So the lymph flow, I told you, the extravascular lymph flow will flow back. That induces artificial lymphoria. All the fluid will be drained off initially for a week time, and then probably which reverses lymphadenectasis. Pathophysiology will be reversed back. The stagnation, the accumulation will be probably which get reversed back. And at the same time, let us not hide anything. Proper medication with the, so whatever the drugs like, DC, the antibiotic care if required, provided if patient has any secondary infection, so diethyl carbazine tablets. So those things also to be given to the patient if required. So that care, that diagnosis, when you make it pakka, and the results will be definitely very smooth and as expected.
Thank you, sir. There is another question. Sir,
Welcome.
can you please elaborate on the utility of different types of Dahana Upakaranas like Godanta, Jambavashta, Huda, etc.?
Yeah, that's what I was telling in the second or third slide, if I'm right. We should be very careful. The best Shalaka is Swarna, followed by Rajata, followed by Copper. Copper, of course, I have, because that information I wanted to give through the electronic configuration to boost up the mechanism actually involved in that. And it is documented, it is a proven information. Well, the question really stands valid. We should be very careful. There are set of instruments which are required, Pippali, Ajashakrut, Godanta. Yes, these instruments you have to use for the Tvagdagda. For Mamsa, Snayu Dagda, you have to select the Jambavashta Shalaka. And again, you should be very careful. If it is a case of Sandhigata, you should be careful and judiciously select the hot oils or ghees. So they can only penetrate deeper into the tissues. So the lesion, pathology, chronicity, which plays important role in selecting the instruments. Yes.
Thank you, sir. There is another question, sir. Agnikarma in severe headache or migraine, how it works?
Really, to admit it very fairly, I have not made any trial on this, but there were trials on the migraine, there were trials on the thyroid, there were, but to honestly speak, technically I cannot give any elaboration on this. Migraine is a condition, usually temporal region, that really depends upon how safely you execute. It should be so cosmetically. So micro bindu you have to do it. You can. No, friends said it is one of the safest thing we can practice. But no, never, because seeing the cosmetic aspects, I never made any attempt in this regard.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It is indicated.
Yes, sir. There is another question, sir.
Welcome.
Sir, how does Agnikarma exactly helps in sciatica? I think they want to know the mode of action in sciatica.
You know, sciatica, again, I don't want to go for the mechanism involved. Sciatica could be simple sciatica, could be disc prolapse, caudal compression, maybe traumatic lesion. I don't want to. You have to be again judicious. If it is a trauma, if there is a complex degeneration, there is if it is RTA, if there is a bony destruction, it's a helpless. If it's a fair case of disc prolapse, partial disc prolapse, caudal compression, if the sciatica is induced, and if it is otherwise not related with this caudal compression and a simple case of sciatica because of very degenerative, safely, confidently, you can practice sciatica on various standard spots from the hip to the tip of the little toe, and you can get the expected results, desired results. Bindupada nature.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there is another question, sir. Why Agnikarma is done in the digits for jaundice? What is the rationality behind it?
Rationality, I cannot say. I have given the information which is there in traditional practice in the digits, and there is also practice like making the tips because the spots maybe which antibody antigen stimulation, and probably one thing is execution could be easy, and that's what I was telling in the initial slides. They make a base of the thumb, tip of the little finger. Base of the thumb, they give a round Agnikarma. Probably this makes a Agantujavrana. Agantujavrana stimulates the antibody antigen philosophy. So this is what we can imply. and have definitely its role on the various jaundice patients. That's only the thing we can give the information on this.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, one question, sir.
Please, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, yes, you
Sir,
are welcome.
how does Agni Karma works on hemorrhoids, sir?
Very good. We regularly practice. Dr. Bannigalji is here, and he is the right man to answer, because since we practice in the department, it is a special indication of Agni Karma in the anorectal disorder, especially in the Kaphaja and Vataja type of hemorrhoids, which are not responding for the surgical maneuver, or these procedures, surgical procedures, bounced back. Once, definitely we can select these conditions. When you do this Agni Karma at the base of the pedicle, they impair the circulation of the hemorrhoidal mass, because superior rectal artery is the main artery which supplies to the hemorrhoidal plexus. And once you do the Agni Karma carefully at the base of the hemorrhoidal base, the circulation would be minimized or impaired. Once the circulation is impaired, the pile mass would regress, and which would definitely dried off. So this is the mechanism we can imply, scientific mechanism. And naturally, once there is regression, and you see, and one interesting thing I would like to share with you is, once you do the Bindu Padagni Karma on the first day itself, there will be stoppage of bleeding. And patient usually, previously he used to complain splash of bleeding, drop by drop bleeding. And instantly the second day you can notice from the patient, sir, bleeding has stopped. Within a week, patient is comfortable, and bowel movements will be improved. And size, we can observe it within a few weeks of time. Okay?
Sir, Bannigal sir, do you want to add any points?
He's the right man. My respectable Sir Bannigalji has to.
I would like to compliment Dr. Bhaskar Rao.
Thank you, sir.
For enriching us with the recent advances in the procedure of Agni Karma. Now, everybody is asking what is the mode of action of Agni Karma. And this mode of action, when we speak in the Ayurvedic language, we only say that the Agni is transferred to the diseased area, and Dhatvagni of that area is improved. Thus, it brings Nirama Avastha and the disease is cured.
Yes.
But the modern people, they want still more evidence, and they want the evidence. So you have very rightly interpreted the penetration of Agni and how it local changes takes place, how it leads to the dissolving the tissues
Yes, sir.
by giving a scientific explanation for this particular thing.
Yes.
So it motivates our young post-graduation PhD scholars to take a further work. So there's a lot of scope for doing the research in the field of Agni Karma, and the Agni Karma is practiced in macro type of Agni Karma and micro type of Agni Karma. This is also
Yes, sir, you are
a
right.
research work. There is Agni Karma being practiced a direct method and indirect method also. That can also be practiced. Now the question what another student was asking, how it is helpful in Arshas. So as you know, as you very rightly mentioned, Agni Karma is indicated in Vataja and Kaphaja Arshas. So
Yes.
Vataja and Kaphaja Arshas are called as the Shushka Arshas. They are not. Pittaja and Raktaja are the Ardha Arshas. And this Vataja and Kaphaja Arshas are usually Bahya Arshas. Bahya Arshas means where there is a cutaneous covering is there over the hemorrhoidal masses. So the Sravi arches of the internal arches is having the mucous membrane coverage. So in Bahya arches, we do the exercise the Bahya archa mass by Agni Karma using the Panchaloha Shalaka, Agni Tapta Shalaka. And internal, we either we do the Charalepa or we do the transfixation of the Charasutra. And another Bahya archa, what we call is the sentinel pile mass, sentinel tag, which is seen usually in the chronic fissures. And this can be very easily excised by Panchaloha Shalaka, and the results are very encouraging. And because of this Agni Karma, hemostasis is also achieved. There will not be no bleeding, and the wound will heal automatically within 3 to 7 days. Yes. Sir, I compliment you once again for giving a scientific validation for Agni Karma, and our students, particularly the younger generation, should take up this particular work. There's a lot of information in the text is there regarding the Agni Karma. I hope it ignites the students' desire to practice Agni Karma, as well as take this as a research project henceforth in their career. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
your
sir.
compliment.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is another question posted by Dr. Vibhuti Mishra asking, sir, can you please explain Pratisarana type of Agni Karma?
Yeah, very good question, Amma. This has to be practiced actually in the case of keloid, external fibrotic conditions, and especially warty lesions which are bounced back even after surgery, even after sclerotherapy. In such a conditions, going for simple mere Agni Karma in the Bindupada nature will not work. That probably is not suffice. In such a cases, irregular Pratisarana of the Agni Karma has to be done, so that the lesion will be taken care. Within a few days or few weeks, it does, there is a mechanical fibrosis, and that will fall off.
Thank you, sir. There is another question, sir. Namaste, sir. You mentioned that Agni Karma can be done in constipation. Where we can do and how does it help? Dr. Sahana Joshi asked this question.
Yeah, fine, Amma. Very good question. In fact, there are certain, you have to know to practice Agni Karma for the constipation is a different zone, really. In fact, I don't have exact experience. But if you know the knowledge, the information on the marma, there are certain points, if you can stimulate, base of the thumb, Kshipra marma, Angushta Moolam Kshipram, and wrist, Indravasti marma. And in these particular zones, if you can stimulate either with the manipulation, external manipulations, or the Agni Karma, so probably they would stimulate the bowel movement and relieve from the constipation. Exactly, to admit it honestly, I have not done research on this. My zones are inguinal hernia, my zones are periarthritis, my zones are partial disc prolapse, my are sciatica, thermolysis bullae, and these are some of the interesting expected. I never tried, but if you adding up the knowledge karma to the information to Agni Karma would enrich you and definitely enhance the capability of executing the Agni Karma.
Sir, can I ask a question, sir? Dr. Srinivas Maslekar here.
Yes, Srinivasji.
Sirji, there is one more concept of Agni Karma which we call it as Vidha Agni Karma. Unlike the shalakas which are being heated on the gas stove or on the flame directly, nowadays the trend is to use the bipolar cautery or monopolar cautery and to cauterize the needle which is already been in the situ. Okay, sir, can you explain it a little more further for our students, sir?
See, the development of laser, the development of cryo, the development of infrared coagulation, the development of whatnot, any heat transmission procedures in the modern thing would rather complement the Ayurvedic parasurgical procedures of Agni Karma. I confidently say these procedures are added procedures or a complementary procedures to Agni Karma. Let it be laser, let it be infrared, let it be whatnot, anything cryo or all these things will fall into that. But important thing, being a Ayurvedic surgeon, you must know and mind the procedure of bipolar, monopole, and heating the needles, simple needles, or cannot be superior to your Agni Karma. Because I told you the info I wanted to give, that is the electronic configuration which can render through the shalaka of Swarna, through the of copper. So comparable to others, the emission of electrons could be definitely different from other metals. And the procedure, there is specific set of indication where exactly for various diseases there are, apart from the local lesions, there are other set of indications like Agni Karma. If it is Antrabuddhi, they practice to other side of the lower limb, to the thumb, giving a incision, you have to do the Agni Karma. That part is, it's not the locally inflected lesion at all. So these, keeping all these things, apart from the local, somewhere you have to do it. But that Agni Karma is also having impact. So somewhere, so these informations, these developments, considering the developmental aspects in the contemporary days, so we have to enrich the science of Ayurveda rather the system of Susur Samhita. So we have to complement, enrich, taking the knowledge from the other counterparts. Satata Adhyayan, Vadam, Pratitantra, Paratantra Avalokanam, Tadvid, Acharya Sevecha. These are the qualities we should imbibe. Then only we can add up the information and improve the glory to the beauty to the Susur Samhita is required.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is another question by Ambika Ramarao, sir. Sir, how does Agni Karma works in disc prolapse? Does it condition?
Disc prolapse, practice of Agni Karma is a safe indication. Confidently you can practice. Within a days of time, patient will be all right. In the place of Kati Basti, in the place of any procedure of Vasti, Panchakarma procedures, definitely our procedure could prove superior. Sarva Shastranu Shastranam Kshara Sreshta. Tara Agni Sreshta. Agni Na Punarudbhati. We have seen a good number of cases, even post Panchakarma, Kati Basti cases which are recurring. Then a final astra, that's what I tell my younger thought students, young friends of postgraduates. This is a Brahmastra in your hands. Practice like, like Kshara Karma, Kshara Sutra, Agni Karma, probably the best procedure in your hand. You have to practice it judiciously.
Thank you, sir. So my personal question, sir. Is Kati Basti one type of Agni Karma, sir, using Taila as Upakarana?
Repeat your question.
Sir, is Kati Basti one type of Agni Karma? That is, can we use Taila as one of the Dahanopakaranas?
That's what I was telling. Kati Basti, whatever use it, Taila is indicated. Hot oil is one of the indications. Other form of only the transmission of Taila with its deeper penetration into the deeper tissues. Probably the success of this is the credit they hide it. Really, it goes to Agni Karma. There is a Taila, Gruta indication, and especially for the Astigata Dhatus, Sandhigata Dhatus, there is a specific indication. Why can't you argue on this? It's an indirect form of Agni Karma only.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is one more question by Vibhuti Mishra, sir. Sir, Agni Karma is effective in localized pain, or it can act over regional pain also?
That's what the madam was asking about the gate control theory of the pain. It implies that it has impact locally, it has impact on the general system too.
Okay, sir. Sir, you have 10 more minutes, sir. There are many questions on the chat box. Can we continue, or you have any appointments?
It's enough. If any important question, please take them. And you also, my voice is changing.
Will end this session today now.
think,
Like all the other questions will.
We will personally
back.
share, ask them to mail to my mailing address, and I'll be answering them. If
yes,
there is
sir.
a
Yes, sir.
important
It would have been a long day
among-
for sir, and I think we should let sir leave, and you can mail it to him, and probably sir will answer. And
yeah,
as
yeah.
it opens, we will definitely have sir in college for a day. Sir, please
Yeah,
apply.
yes, sir, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And,
Ma'am, you want to experience in Agnikarma, ma'am?
No, I think it's time up. I would only thank sir once again for this priceless, path-breaking, exemplary presentation that he made. Especially the electronic configuration was a very new thought, sir. And man is an electromagnetic field, and the electronic configuration actually made a lot of sense to many of us, and gave an absolutely new method of thinking into it. And sir, the
Yes,
immunofluorescence study and the collagen synthesis that you were talking, along with the cortisol changes for
Yes.
future studies, would be a great project, great PhD work for people to take up. And maybe we have a very good Kshara unit going on, and I'm sure we will start a very an equally exuberant and very well-meaning Agnikarma center in our college soon. And
Yes.
that was the lymphatic circulation, then the diamine oxidase, etc., was a very new and extremely good for all of us, sir. On behalf of my students and my faculty, I thank you personally, and I thank Dr. Bannigold, sir, for staying with us and for being here for the lecture, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Banigalji. Yeah, and Nageshwari and Srinivasji, and Sridharji, and thank you. I always feel it's my privilege when I get an invitation from Karnataka. I always feel like an invitation from my institution, and that too from Bangalore. Thing to me, and always I feel it's sincerely. I admit it's my privilege to share some time with you and talking to my elders like Banigalji and my colleagues like Halya and Shilpa. Privilege today. And thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like Dr. Srinivas sir to add.
Nagashri, it's like time for giving out the word of thanks. So at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Bhaskar Rao sir for presenting such a nice lecture. Web series was on by his almost ignited by his good thoughts. He has enriched our knowledge on Agnikarma and their present trends. I also would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Srinivas Bannigold sir, Dean RGHS Ayurveda, Dean of Ayurveda Faculty RGHS, for his valuable presence and the golden words. I would like to extend my thanks to Principal Dr. Halya ma'am and all the faculty who are present here. I would like to thank Halya ma'am personally for all the backup she is doing all these days for the webinars to be presented on behalf of Shalya Tantra. Thank you so much, ma'am. And also I would like to extend thanks to all faculty, PG scholars from our college and from all the colleges who have attended this webinar. So looking forward to your presence tomorrow as well. So we will be sending you the link of tomorrow's web series.
Tomorrow I don't have Srinivas. I think it is on the last day.
No, sir.
Right?
You don't have, like, we have other guest lecture. Sir, it is a webinar of 6 days, which has been started by you, sir, today. Yes, sir. Yes,
Tomorrow
sir.
is
Sir,
Dr. Manoj, anesthetist
Yes.
from HCG Cancer Hospital. He's going to speak on basic pain management.
Yes, sir. So I'd like to thank everybody on behalf of Government Ayurveda Medical College, principal, faculty, and staff. Thank you so much. So this concludes today's session. Thank you so much for all your presence.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, finally, I would like to again let everybody know that tomorrow's session is by Dr. Manoj, sir. He is an anesthetist and a consultant at HCG Cancer Hospital. He would speak on the topic basic pain management from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is tomorrow, June 2nd. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nagashri, let us conclude. Thank you.
Shall conclude, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Good night.